Heydarian. Now, was he in the Philippines? Yes. He's in the Philippines. Yes. Professor, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, but I'm here in Seoul, Korea.
Oh, yes. I see.
I see.
Welcome to our forum and welcome to the discussion.
My pleasure, Governor. Right. I'll keep it very, very short and sweet, given the time constraints involved. Thank you very much again, Governor, for the invitation. First of all, let me say that in the Philippines and ASEAN, I think many countries, particularly Philippines and Vietnam, I think we're glad that President Obama at least mentioned the South China Sea disputes and quite pushed back against China's reclamation activities in the area, because back in 2013, during the meeting in Sunnylands Ranch between Xi Jinping and Obama, there was not much of a discussion apparently on the South China Sea, at least in their formal statements. And I think there's a lot of excitement in the Philippines, particularly among officials, that the United States will finally pierce into the 12 nautical miles territorial sea of China's artificially created islands. I think this is very important because the position of the Philippines is that most of these were low tide elevations that are extension of the Philippines continental shelf. They cannot be appropriated, and therefore they cannot even generate their own 12 nautical miles territorial sea. So it's very important for the United States to challenge China's sovereignty claims over those artificially created features. I think there's also a lot of sense of urgency in the Philippines over the reclamation activities in the South China Sea. A while ago, Bill was talking about the fact that China has not occupied new features, but the concerns in the Philippines is that the Scarborough Shoal, which was coercively taken away from the Philippines in 2012, China may have plans of also building, facilities there with military purposes. And of course, China's airstrip construction on the Subi Reef and Mischief Reef is also of huge concern, because the Subi Reef is very close to the Tito Island, which the Philippines called Pag-asa, and the Philippines has had an airstrip there since 1973. And also China is building an airstrip in the Mischief Reef, which is very close to the Second Thomas Shoal, where the Chinese Coast Guard have placed effectively a siege on Filipino detachment in that area, and also close to the reed bank, which is very important to the Philippines' energy security, and the Philippines has been very desperately trying to exploit hydrocarbon resources there. So there's this huge sense of urgency in the Philippines that there should be a pushback against China's reclamation activities and its posturing in the region. To be honest, I think in the Philippines there's also a lot of frustration with the slowness of the ASEAN's ability to come up with a code of conduct. A lot of us have been proposing that at least Philippines, Vietnam, and Malaysia should develop a code of conduct first before foisting it upon China or trying to socialize China to sign up to that. For me personally, what is very disconcerting is that while Vietnam and China have developed at least 3 different hotlines, Japan and China have been also engaged in confidence-building measures, and as Bonnie Glasser has excellently also covered, the United States and China have also been negotiating queues and other forms of confidence-building measures. The Philippines and China have not yet negotiated any significant confidence-building measure, or there are no functional hotlines between the two countries. So as the South China Sea becomes more and more congested, the risk for accidental clashes goes higher, and the fact that the Philippines and China do not have any kind of communication channels in terms of confidence building, that is a huge concern for me. And I think what we also have to, in closing remarks, keep in mind is that these reclamation activities in China are overlapping with other clocks. For instance, in terms of the legal arbitration, within a month or so we should know if the arbitration tribunal will exercise jurisdiction on this issue. And of course, with the APEC summit in the Philippines coming soon, we hope that South China Sea issue will also be on the table, but will be discussed in a constructive manner. So I'll just keep it short and sweet, and thank you very much again for the invitation, Governor.
Thank you so much. Let me ask you a question. Why has the ASEAN process been so slow?
Right. When it comes to the political security issues, when it comes to political security issues, it's really a unanimity-based decision-making. In terms of economic affairs, I think ASEAN has done better because the decision-making process is the ASEAN minus X formula. But we do not have that in political security matters. So it takes one country, let's say Cambodia or Laos, which are very close to China, to say no, and nothing will really happen. And that's why we're saying at least there should be a code of conduct among ASEAN claimant states like Malaysia, Philippines, Brunei, and Vietnam, before we can pressure and socialize China to signing up to that. This is essentially what we did with the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation before asking US and China and other countries to sign up to that.
Well, it's great to have you with us, and I hope we can welcome you back to other discussions that we do have. But thank you so much for being a part of this.